Alright, and here we are back for our second match with Murasa Tron. Could not keep this hand. I wish I could, but I can't. Even if I was to get the third Tron piece, I wouldn't be able to actually cast anything. So I think this is a mulligan. This is unfortunate, but I don't think it's worth going to 5. Yes, I still only have 2 Tron pieces, but I'm not quite sure if it's worth going to 5. When I have 2 decent cards, if I top deck a blue source. Mulling the 7, I think I could, but mulling down, I don't think I can. So I'm going to go ahead and keep it. Okay, looks like I'm up against Kuldotha Boros, which is not a horrible matchup, but certainly not a incredibly easy one. The reason why I thought it was Kuldotha Boros is because they went turn 1 Great Furnace and didn't do anything. I don't think Affinity would do that. Looks like I might get unlucky this game. Probably not going to be able to play a real match. I mean, real game. But, you know, I mean, that could kind of happen with almost any deck. But it can happen with this deck more often. Just because, again, you don't run so many chromatic effects, you don't run ancient stirrings and things like that. So sometimes you can get just screwed over by getting, you know, color screwed and mana screwed at the same time. Oh, that hurts. That really hurts. Drawing the one mountain in the deck. That stings my soul a bit. Just a bit. So, I'm sure most of you will have heard by the time this comes out, but I just got word today that Burning Tree Emissary and Magma Jet are going to become common, thanks to the new Modern Masters. I am extremely excited by this. I think Burning Tree Emissary is going to open up the doors for a few red-green aggro decks. The problem with it is that Bushwhacker costs double red. The Reckless Bushwhacker is still in common, unfortunately. But Magma Jet, however, I don't think will be played in Burn because it does not do 3 damage. What it will be played in, though, are decks like this. Decks like Tron, maybe decks like Blue-Red Delver I think will be good in. My opponent's just going to town right now. Haunted Fengrave, yep. And this is one of the problems with this deck. You are seeing classic why this deck can sometimes have problems and why I hate it so much. Because it hates me. It might just be that my mana base is not very good. Maybe this mountain should be an Izzet Guildgate. Maybe this deck should not be playing the one of Haunted Fengrave. All these things are extremely possible. If I had blue sources right now, I'd probably be in decent shape with Think Twice and the Seagate Oracle. A couple of Divinations. And then Mnemonic Wall to block a little bit. But we'll see. Alright, my opponent now has 7 damage on the board. But I guess I drew a Flame Slash, so that's not bad. Gonna go ahead and kill a 2-3. I'm just gonna F8 since my opponent knows I can't do anything anyway. They can draw 3 cards for basically free. They have 5 damage on the board. I can't imagine being able to win this game, no matter what possibly happens, but I guess I'd be willing to believe I could. I mean, if I top deck an untapped blue source, if I top deck an island, the best I can do is go Mole Drifter or Mnemonic Wall to get back Flame Slash, and then once my opponent just kills him, I'm still going to take a bunch of damage. So, the reason why the Kuldotha Boros matchup for this deck, in my opinion, is not as good as, say, Turbo Rugtron or, you know, maybe the Mono Green Tron that Negashane plays. Am I dead? Yeah, I'm dead. Okay. Is, trying to think of how to say this exactly. Basically, you look at this deck and you see that it doesn't have like 8 chromatic effects. It's really, really hardcore on controlling the game. It's not winning the game by playing a Finger Marauder and gaining a bunch of life and then drawing the game out easily. It's not like Mono Green Tron where your whole deck is just basically one color and colorless, and then, you know, once you get Tron, you go to town. This deck is all about drawing the exact right mix of Tron lands and ways to produce color. Whether that is Shimmering Grotto, Swiftwater Cliffs, your 3 basics, you know, your 2 signets, or your Prophetic Prisms, or maybe an Expedition Map to get it. And what you saw there was I drew 2 Tron lands, which is normal. Did not draw a Prophetic Prism, which sucks. But then I drew specifically 2 non-blue sources. Now, that's not always going to happen in this deck. I did get unlucky there. So, you know, maybe I should have mulliganed that hand, but don't be fooled. This deck is consistent. It's just sometimes you can get a little screwed over by that type of variance over time, and that's just how it happens. Anyway, as far as how to sideboard, probably going to bring in the Moments Piece. I don't know if I like Ancient Grudge, but we'll see if I have more cards to take out. And then I do like a couple of Hydroblasts. Could bring in the Dispel, but I don't know. Hydroblast is probably better at killing things like, you know, like Stone Rain and stuff. As far as what to take out, well, that's a good question. I like Condescend. Not in this matchup. All their spells are way too cheap. I still like the Electrickery. I suppose Electrostatic Bolt is not great because it only kills Glinthawk and the little 1/2 I don't care about, and the tokens, which don't really matter. Twin Bolt is kind of the same thing. I'm not really a big fan of Twin Bolt. And the reason why I'm not really a big fan of Twin Bolt is because it just kills tokens, or it is basically an overexpensive version of Electrostatic Bolt, which is kind of annoying. So I think I'm going to take that out. Could possibly afford to cut maybe like the Seagate Oracle. The Seagate Oracle is not at its best for an Ancient Grudge, but now here's the thing about Ancient Grudge. Ancient Grudge, yeah, it kills clues, it kills Prophetic Prism, it kills artifact lands, but that's not really going to do all that much, so I think we're just going to go right back into it and just see how it goes. Alright. Oh, can't keep this hand. It's got no lands. We can keep this hand. This hand is not terrible. It's got a Forbidden Alchemy to do a little digging. It's got the island plus a Shimmering Grotto to produce red. And it's got a Tron land, so I'm gonna keep that Hydroblast. I suspect that my opponent's going to have a Stone Rain in their deck, so I'm going to keep that. Or maybe they have Gorilla Shaman. I don't know. I don't know. Secluded Step. Alright. Just going to play the Grotto and pass. So, yeah, Magma Jet. I am extremely happy that that card is becoming common, because I think that's going to make a lot more games interesting. It might make a few decks really, really powerful. It might make just a few of the tier 2 decks or whatnot be a little less powerful. I mean, again, it only deals 2 damage, which these days is usually good enough, but the problem is that it costs 2 mana, which is a lot these days in Pauper. Okay. So, I'm just going to say go. I'm going to leave up Remove Soul or Lightning Bolt or Hydroblast, and then if my opponent doesn't do anything worth of significance, I'm just going to Forbidden Alchemy either for a Tron piece or just something. Probably Tron, to be honest, but we'll see. What is this? A card that I don't give a crap about. That's another thing. What am I going to do? Ancient Grudge, Nick, or Wellspring? That's probably going to make my opponent extremely happy if I do that. Yeah, I'll just go ahead and Ancient Grudge, Nick, or Wellspring. It'll be fine. Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and Forbidden Alchemy here. Ooh, man, these cards suck. Well, we don't really need another Tron piece, and we don't really need the Grotto, so I'm just going to pick the Island. I think the Island is probably going to be the most fruitful of those cards. And I think here I'm just going to evoke the Mole Drifter. Playing it doesn't really seem like it's going to do all that much. I guess I guess I don't really need to cast it right now. I could just leave up Remove Soul or Lightning Bolt instead of just leaving up Hydroblast. So that is something. Okay, so my opponent played a Kuldotha Rebirth. I think I'm going to have to Hydroblast that. I can't really let my opponent get 3 tokens out of the board right now because I can't really deal with them. My opponent played a Prophetic Prism, and I couldn't counter it, so it didn't really make a difference. So we'll see what I draw here. Drew a Rolling Thunder. Oh, that's balls. So, yeah, I'm just going to evoke the Moil Drifter. I guess I could have left open the Shimmering Grotto, but I think I'd rather leave open Remove Soul in case I top deck something of the untapped variety. And Urza's Tower, huh? Alright, well, I'm not going to play the Expedition map yet. I want to leave up Remove Soul. And then next turn, I can go play map, crack map, and then have 6 mana available to me. Unless I just want to tap both my Urza's pieces, but I highly doubt I will. So, that is something. Yep, and there's the Stone Rain. Yeah, see, now there's the other problem I have with this deck is that against a deck like Kuldotha Boros where they play Stone Rains, you're not a deck that's very good at getting Tron. So maybe that's a reason to play Stone Rain in the mirror of this deck. Excuse me, I can't speak. As I was saying, maybe that's a reason to play. I'm gonna get Urza's Power Plant to maximize the amount of Urza's pieces I have in my deck. It's kind of weird that my opponent chose to hit Urza's Tower because I have an Urza's Mine in the grave. So I have more chances of redrawing a tower than I do of Urza's Mine, but to each of their own, I guess. So maybe Stone Rain is good in the sideboard of this deck for the mirror, but the thing is that the mirror is going to take so long that getting Tron should be easy anyway. The thing about a matchup like this is that my opponent's going to have a quick clock as well as Stone Raining me, so that's, you know, never really a good thing. One problem with this deck is that it really does need Tron to function, like, really, really well, as you see when you draw cards like Capsize and Rolling Thunder. The problem is you're not great at drawing... I mean, you're not great at getting Tron assembled, so... Yeah, I'm going to let that resolve. I'm surprised they brought in Lone Missionary. I guess you just have to bring out certain cards, and this is a creature that attacks, so... I'm not going to remove Soul the Third Inspector or the Lone Missionary. I would rather remove, like, a Glinthawk or something. I am, however, though, going to bolt this, which I can't right now, I just noticed, so... Simic Signet. Alright. So I guess we'll go Signet. And then I'll go ahead and bolt this little guy now. Just in case my opponent randomly has, like, I don't know, Prismatic Strands or, like, Momentary Blink or something. You know, it's funny. I thought about putting, like, a 1 of Momentary Blink in Michael Delta Boros deck. Just as, like, some kind of techie tech to, you know, blink this guy or blink this guy or... Yep, or that. Definitely want to counter that. Or to blink... you know, like Core Sky Fisher to get back Prophetic Prism, things like that. But I thought about it. Not exactly the greatest thing in the world. Opponent could also have Pyroblast, which would suck. But such is life. Although I have to think if they had Pyroblast, they would have done it to... What just happened? Oh, they sacked the clue. Alright, well, kind of have to believe if they had Pyroblast, they would have already done it to this to get the other card through, so I think what I'll do here is I'm just going to Capsize. Actually, I don't really need to do that right now, do I? Because if my opponent has a Stone Rain, I can just Capsize back my Tron piece, which is probably better, so I might as well take advantage of that. I do have double moments piece, so I'm not losing to any rally shenanigans anytime soon. But it's not like I'm really able to sit here either. It does kind of suck, though, because I have 2 moments pieces, which aren't really doing anything. I have a capsize, which without Tron is not doing a whole lot. And then I have a rolling thunder, which, again, without Tron is not really doing a whole lot. Ooh. My opponent did not attack with Thraben Spectre. Are they going to play Battle Screech, I suppose? Okay. Prism, that's cool. Mismatching prisms. Kind of hurting my soul a little bit. Not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. Oh, yeah, by the way, the reason I have snow-covered islands and mountain, they just look cool. I just like how they look. I personally like the cold snap versions of the lands, but yep. There's that. Alright. Which can I roll? Can I Rolling Thunder at all? I can't even Rolling Thunder. Oh my god, this sucks. Alright, well, I'm gonna bounce back the land. Yes, I know I can bounce back the tokens, but my opponent guaranteed has a bolt at this point, and if I go to bounce a token, the bolt's gonna say no. Alright, well, there's Nurse's Tower, so now I have Tron. I have access to 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 mana, so I can capsize once. But the bigger thing is I can flashback Forbidden Alchemy. So, that's a big thing. Why is Magic Online going so slow right now? Is it really because I'm recording? That doesn't usually happen. It's kind of weird. If my opponent does try to go for Rally, I have Moments Pieces, so that's a good thing. But one thing I should point out is that, yeah, my opponent could just burn me out with like 3 Galvanic Blasts and stuff. So, yeah. Alright. Go ahead and do... Cost 7 to flash this back, so I can't really capsize. Alright. Let's do this. Good. Moments Piece. Peace, bro. Don't disturb the peace. So yeah, I guess my opponent's just trying to kill me. Thankfully, it did not work at this moment in time. Glenhawk. Sure. Really wish that I could bounce back all 4 of the artifacts right now so that this dies, but it's not the world I live in at this moment. Return Prism. Okay. My opponent still didn't play a land, so I wonder if they're going to go for Boros Garrison. Wow, they are. Okay. Alright. Well, I need to go for Forbidden Alchemy right here. I need to draw something. If they have a Hydroblast, so be it. There isn't much I could do about that. Well, they didn't. Ghostly Flicker, Pulse of Murasa, Moldrifter. I could get Urza's Tower and bounce back 2 permanents a turn. Pulse of Murasa gets back Mnemonic Wall, but I can do that another time. Moldrifter. Well, Moldrifter does draw me a couple of cards. Let's see here. If I was to go for the Urza's Tower, that would give me, let's see, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 mana. So I would have enough mana to capsize twice and Moments Piece. I'm not really sure how much that matters, though. But I think it's worth more than just these. Actually, I would not be able to capsize twice in Moments Piece, right? Because I have... Oh, yeah, I would, actually. Yes, I would. I would indeed. I could always just draw another... I could always just draw another Tron piece, or just, like, more land. The problem is I know my opponent's going to have a kill spell. So Moldrifter, yes, it draws cards, but it's not going to do all that much past that. I think I'm going to go for the Urza's Tower here, just go for more mana. As crazy as that might be. Okay, well that doesn't annoy me as much as you may think. So, let's see. If I go capsize right now, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6. And then when my opponent goes to attack, I can Moment's Peace. I'll have, let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana. And I won't have access to 2 blue, is that correct? Because I need to feed one into this. So let's see. Yeah, because I need to feed one into this, so I don't think I'll have it, but whatever. Going to do that. Kind of wish I did take, like, I don't know, the Pulse Murasa now. Because I didn't know that I was going to draw the Urza's Mind, but I think it'll be fine. Yep, Bolt me. So there is a real possibility that I could just get burned out here. Which is an unfortunate reality, but such is the reality that I live in. So, not much I can do about it. So yeah, the problem here is that I unfortunately only have 7 mana with the capsize. So, I can Moment's Peace here, which I think I have to do. That way my opponent may think that I only have 1 Moment's Peace in my deck. And they might think like, oh, well, he doesn't have another Moment's Peace, so I'll just use the Rally next turn. I also kind of want to stay at a high enough life total. So that is also something. What you're seeing here right now, basically, is this deck attacks on so many different axes, I guess is the word. Yeah, it's fine. You know, and things like that. And the main problem is I don't really have enough stuff to deal with every single angle that they attack me from. Okay, seriously. Had I known that I was going to draw 2 more Tron pieces, I would have taken the Pulse Murasa. Ay, ay, ay. Man, I have not seen a Prophetic Prism in 2 games. That is nuts. That is really nuts, man. Alright, so we'll go ahead and capsize this again. And, you know, I guess just that's what I gotta do. And now I can Moment's Peace plus capsize. So hopefully my opponent goes for Boros Garrison again. But like I said, if my opponent just has a bunch of Galvanic Blasts, I'm going to die. So there's a chance that I did not maybe sideboard correctly. There's a good chance that I'm not as well prepared for this matchup as I normally could be with with whatchamacallit. I can't think of the word. With the name. Circle Protection Reds. What Circle Protection Red could do here is stop all of the burn spells from dealing me damage, but I would still have a problem where all these creatures are in play because I have not drawn a second red. So this is 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, the problem here is that I have to Moment's Peace because then I open myself up to a burn spell. So I'm just going to lay all of... I'm just going to lay all the things on the table. I'm going to go ahead and capsize back the Forgotten Cave, because it comes into play tapped. And then I'm laying all my chips on the table. I guess my opponent had to believe that I had a second Moment's Peace. They could have just gone for the win with Rally, but there's no point in that when they already have a burn spell in their hand. That's what that tells me. If I can top deck a second red and clear the board and my opponent just has, you know, like a bunch of lands and stuff, I could possibly win. But I'm going to need to top deck a red source like really quickly, really soon. Whether it being the second Shimmering Grotto, a land, a Prophetic Prism, the Signet, Flame Slash doesn't really do anything. I think this game's all but over at this point. I need to top deck an untapped red source next turn, or else I'm just dead. Opponent's got 3 lands in hand and an unknown. They have 2 Boros Garrison, the Forgotten Cave, and an unknown card. So I think I just have to say, go here. There isn't really a point in flame slashing a random 2/2 at this point. There just really isn't. Yep. And there's the attack for all. How much mana do I have? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Alright. So go ahead, Moment's Peace. Oh, I screwed up there. Forgot to tap the other way. Now I can't bounce 2 permanents. Oh. Could have bounced back 2 lands, but... yeah. That was a bit of a mistake. I went on autopilot there. Don't ever do that. Which is unfortunate, but such is life. Such is life. Plains. Okay, I'm just gonna, I guess, bounce the red source. And I need a red source of my own. Nope. Drew a Flame Slash. Alright, well, unfortunately, that is going to be the game. Could not do anything about that. Alright, so be right back. Okay, so, in the first match, you saw me up against Izzet Blitz, an interesting version of Izzet Blitz with lava spikes and whatnot. And you saw just how good this deck can be, how well it can flow. You know, now, the games against the opponent were really weird, kind of, but I think it still kind of showed how well this deck can function. Against the Kuldotha Boros deck, you kind of saw how this deck can flop. You can either, you know, get a little bit unlucky and not draw enough colors. You can draw, or like in game 2, you can draw Tron, but you could still not quite have the right colors. I didn't have the second red to use Rolling Thunder, and I never drew Mystical Teachings to go get Electrickery. I didn't really draw a good mix of much of anything. Now, the problem, like I said, is I don't find Kuldotha Boros to be a great matchup for this deck because they play so much burn. You don't really have enough stuff to deal with every single thing. So, what this deck really is really good against is like a straightforward aggro deck, or it's decent against like a straightforward control deck. You know, this version is, like I said, more geared towards beating aggro decks. And, you know, I beat the aggro-like deck of Blue-Red Killing Fiend, which is kind of an aggro combo deck. Really, it's just combo, but you get the point. And then the Kuldotha Boros matchup is more mid-range, and it can attack you with creatures, it can attack you with burn spells, and it can also, you know, it can also just draw a bunch of cards. So, I wouldn't really take that too much in stride, but you did see how this deck can draw, how this deck can function. I can assure you that the way I drew against Kuldotha Boros does not happen a ton. So don't let that scare you away from this deck. That being said, what's my verdict? I think I'd play this deck right now. I think with a lot of aggro going around, this deck is good. I think that there's multiple versions of the deck. There are counter-heavy versions, there's removal-heavy versions, there's more combo-heavy versions. You know, so it's really to what you're liking and what you think you're going to face in the metagame that day. This deck is doing really well on MTG Goldfish. On the 5-0s that MTG Goldfish shows, so I can't say that this deck is bad. I also would be lying to you if I said that, because I don't think this deck is bad. If you want to pick this deck up, go right ahead. There really is no bad way to build this deck. There really is no extremely good way to build this deck. There's only the way that really suits you or suits what the metagame will be that day. So, you know, let me know in the comments section what you think about this deck. What you think is the correct version right now, whether it's more counter spells, more removal, different mana, you know, maybe I need more color sources. I don't know. But yeah, all right. So thank you guys so much. I should remind you to please check out the Community Pauper Challenge over at twitch.tv/Community Pauper Challenge, or you can check out the Weebly site. I think it is communitypauperchallenge.weebly.com, I think is the address. If you want all the information, you can just check out the Twitch page. Most of the information is down there. And yeah, I hope to see you there. So thank you so much for watching. Also, always remember to check out PureMTGO.com, as they have awesome content that isn't just my own. In fact, most of it's better than mine, if not all of it's better than mine, but you get the point. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time here on the Arctic Papa Show. Thanks for watching.